So let's wait for other people to join in, and then I'll maybe do or tell you what exactly we are up to. Because I thought of I need to buy some coffee for this coming month, and it has been quite some time since we, purchased some coffees off a website, because usually friends and family keep getting new coffees for us. So the thought was that let's order some coffees from a website and see what exactly do they offer now. How do you choose your coffee? So that being said, let's wait for a few more people to join in, and then we will start our live. We will order some coffee from Naivo Coffee Roasters. So that would be fun, because even I'm not sure what I want. So let's see कि क्या order करना है, कैसे order करना है. I think we have a decent amount of people who have joined. I am still getting used to how this exact thing works. So what I'll be doing is I'll be trying to monitor the live using my laptop, and let's see if I could see a few of your messages. But if not, apologies that I couldn't say hi to you all, or we couldn't interact much. It would take some time for me to get around the technology thing, but we would be eventually getting along with how the things work. So let's start by going to the website that we want to go. That's the Naivo Coffee. Now, whenever you enter a specific website, it tells you a lot about how the roaster approaches selling his goods. So the website is the best place to understand what, where, and how to buy things. So yes, we have got Naivo Coffee Company. That's the place we want to buy our coffee from. They say buy freshly roasted coffee online, which is a good thing, that they are stressing upon the topic that it is freshly roasted. That's a very good thing. We bring you the finest specialty coffees handpicked from estates around the world, freshly roasted and ordered and delivered to your doorstep. Let's get into it. Let's see how the initial interface of this website is. Need help? Contact our customer care team. Okay, we don't need help as of now. Perfect. We've got stories to tell, but our coffee do the talking. Beautiful line. So this is a very good thing that tells us a lot about how much they care about coffee. I think there is some issues with the camera. Let me just try to fix it. Yep, I think now you guys can see me better. So yes, whenever you are trying to buy coffee, you need to be very clear about one thing, is that for what purpose am I trying to buy coffee? So to break it down into broad spectrum, there are two ways to buy coffee. First is for your espressos. So if you are someone who has a coffee machine at home and you want to pull coffees for drinking it with milk, your ice creams, your mixtures, your all of the other stuff that you add to your coffee, you would want to go for espresso roast, because espresso roast has that potency to showcase the flavors of coffee inside the mixing stuff that you put in, the milk that you put in, and everything. But today I am specifically looking to buy coffee for my masterclass. So we, as you guys know, or if you don't know, you should check out my Instagram, that we host manual brewing masterclasses every single month, wherein we go deep dive into the science and art of coffee making, and how different type of coffees are brewed, the science behind brewing, what's a pour over, and all of those stuff, all of the manual brewing stuff that you see online. So for that I need some coffees. So my first priority is looking for a coffee that is fit for manual brewing. So there are roast profiles. I won't go deep into the type of roast profiles that we get, but fundamentally I would want to look for a filter roast or a light roast coffee. So let's check how the interface of Naivo helps us buy the coffee. Is it convenient? Is it not convenient? Is something we are going to try to understand. If you have any questions, just drop me a message and I would be happy to reply to it. My apologies again for being bad at using tech so far. I guarantee I would be learning. I think someone is saying hello. Hey, brother Grunfe, if I'm saying it right. Okay, let's get to it. We need 3 coffees. 3 distinctly tasting coffees is something I want, and for that I want specifically it to be a filter roast. Whenever I say filter roast, it means a light roasted coffee. So that should be pretty much a simple way to navigate through this website. Multiple brands use different language, but whenever they say a espresso roast, it means it's a darker, it's more bolder roast profile. Whenever they say it's a filter roast, it can be anything from light to light plus to light medium. That is meant for your filter brewing methods, that is your manual brewing methods. And sometimes you have something called as the omni roast, where the omni roast is suitable for either your espresso as well as your manual brewing, which means it is the type of roast that is going to work in both the scenarios. So say you have an espresso machine at home and you have a manual brew station at your home. You can use one single coffee for both the purposes. But for today, I am not looking to get Omni Roast, but my goal is to explore the flavor wheel of coffee and try to get different tasting coffees. I don't want any of the 2 coffees to have any similar tasting profiles. So what I'll be trying to do is I'll try to hunt for coffees that have distinct different flavor profiles. So yes, let's first let us know about this brand. Again guys, this is not a sponsored video. This is just me exploring different Indian roasters, and if we can create an ecosystem, we'll try to promote it as much as possible. So let's know more about Naivo. So they say at Naivo Coffee Company, our mission is to passionately source and roast the finest coffee beans from top farms across India and globe, which is a very good thing because we get 2 sort of selections. Let's just pull this. Yeah. So we get 2 types of selections. We get Indian selection and a global. So they are trying to become that one-point solution for every person's coffee need, and not always you have the liberty of buying just Indian coffees. You can choose to go for international selections as well. We are dedicated to providing our customers with an unparalleled coffee experience by offering a range of craft coffees, including specialty coffee decaf. So yes, they are providing you with decafs that reflect our commitment to quality, innovation, and customer satisfaction through continuous improvement, customer feedback, and customer education initiatives. We strive to elevate the standards of the Indian coffee industry. I love this line that they are also the part of people or the league of people who are trying to get the coffee industry of India evolving more finer, nuanced, and more subjective to tasting good coffees. Spread awareness and delight coffee enthusiasts with every single cup. Beautiful, beautiful way of positioning themselves. And now let's go back and check whether we want to buy coffees from them and what coffee. So moving back to their UI, I think I should take this off. Yes. Now what I want to do is, I don't want to learn, I just want to shop. So let's go and see what their shop has to offer in terms of the coffee offerings. So see, now they have made up things very clearly that you have espresso based coffee blends, you have filter coffee, you have Omni Roast, you have Ratnagiri Malt, Showcase, and Exotic. This for me as a consumer makes it easy for me to choose what exactly I want. Since I'm not looking for espresso blends, that goes out of picture. We have filter, we have Omni. Again, Omni roast is something I'm not looking to buy for a simple reason. I want it to be for pure manual brewing. So Omni roast is something I don't feel that I would be enjoying much. But two things which are attracting me is the showcase and the Ratnagiri vault. Ratnagiri is one of the top estates in India where you get one of the finest Indian coffees, which is a good thing. So they have almost 6 selections of coffee from Ratnagiri estate. So let's see what do they give. Again, remember, our goal today is not to buy a coffee from a specific coffee estate, but the goal is to buy coffee that have distinct flavor profiles. So here we see their offerings. What does the interface tell me? It tells me the type of roast that the coffee has. So all of them are filter, we have espresso. So espresso goes out of the picture because I'm not looking for espresso roast. We have the first coffee to be Ratnagiri Estate Culture Naturals Jasmine with the flavor notes of bubblegum, jasmine, magnolia and tuberoses. So the flavor indicators are telling me that this coffee is very floral forward because this has been a culture natural with jasmine. So they are co-ferments if I am not getting it wrong. And similar, we have one with culture natural rose. Again, a rose forward with lychee, rose water, squash melon and watermelon sort of flavor notes. Am I looking to buy something of this sort? Not really, because I have had this coffee in the past and it is something I didn't really enjoy. So let's see what does Ratnagiri Estate have more to offer, which is roasted by Naivo. Then we have an Omni roast, we have a espresso roast and we have a Omni roast. Again, that is a Robusta, the last one. So I'm not interested in buying Robustas. We are going for pure Arabicas for a very simple reason that I want it to be a manual coffee. I want to drink more of Arabicas. Ratnagiri Estate Double Wash Classic. Citrus bloom, licorice, roasted pecans and tea rose. Okay, this thing looks interesting. Okay, as we were saying that I'm not intending to buy a specific coffee. I was saying that I am not going to go for Omni roast, but this coffee does catch my eye. For one simple reason, Ratnagiri Estate washed coffee is something I so far haven't got chance to taste. The flavor indicators are telling me that it's citrus bloom. So I can expect a tinge of fruity flavors to it. We have the citric acid that might come out. We have the licorice. So you would get that earthy, that how do I explain licorice? Those herbaceous, nice, sweetish notes that you can get from licorice. Roasted pecans and tea rose, which sounds really, really fun. So for now, I'm shortlisting one of these. So whenever you choose the coffee, you get an option of how do you want to grind your coffee. I always say that never ever buy pre-ground coffee for simple reason. Once your coffee is ground, it's going to lose out all its freshness. So what I want right now is whole beans. I have grinders with me, so I don't need to buy a pre-ground coffee. But if you are someone who is starting off with their homebrew journey, you have an option of different brewing equipments in which you can really buy according to your equipment grind size requirements. Ratnagiri Estate Double Washed Classic. I really love because it's a washed coffee, and those who know me know that I am a sucker for washed coffee. I really love a bold and balanced cup, which is a good indicator. As we discussed, we have the citrus bloom, licorice, roasted pecans and tea rose. And I'm not just going to buy these, but once we get these coffees with us, we are going to make sure that we are going to taste these and give a cutthroat, clear review about what did I feel when I was reading the page versus when I tasted it actually. It is a Omni roast, so they are telling me it is at 645 rupees, which is a very decent rate for a Ratnagiri Estate coffee, especially when it comes to specialty coffees. This is a very nice rate, no complaints. This is a 250 grams bag that we are paying 645 rupees for. And now we have the option of selecting the grind sizes. You have the option of whole bean, Turkish grind size, espresso, South Indian, AeroPress, and whatnot. They are giving you a wide range of options when you have to choose your grind size. We, of course, by default go for whole beans because we do have our grinders with us. And let's add. Oh, there is a write-up about the coffee. Let's definitely read this. It feels almost ironic to roast a straight-up double-washed coffee from Ratnagiri state. That also surprised me. Even I was surprised that these guys are roasting a washed coffee when Ratnagiri state is known for their innovative and reformative processing methods. But washed coffee is something that is very, very personal to coffee drinkers because that is the way they loop back to what they started off with. A farm celebrated for wild experiments and pushing boundaries. That's exactly what Ratnagiri state is known for. But that's exactly why this lot stands out. It proves that when Ashok Patre, Mr. Ashok Patre is the owner and the person who is after the brand called as Ratnagiri state, and he has been known as the pioneers for few of the best coffee processors in India, turns his focus to simpler aspects of coffee processing. The execution is still flawless. I'm really happy because for last 2 to 3 years I have been having just funky and funny coffees from Ratnagiri state, but today I get to drink the most subtle, the cleanest cup, or the coffee that is going to give me the exact expression of what this state has to offer through this coffee. So I am really, really interested. It's no noise, no gimmicks, of course, just a coffee that's bold, balanced, sweet, and built to be slurped. They have very well framed the words. This lot isn't here to impress once, it's here to earn a permanent place in your daily brewing routine. Absolutely, we as home brewers are looking to buy coffees that we can drink daily. See, whenever we drink coffee, we want a certain set of coffee that's experimental, where you have kind of like funky coffees that you can just have to get the brain fog out. But then you have one set of coffees that are super stable, no gimmicks, clean cups to start your day. And this seems like one of those coffees. Let's read about cup profile. The cup opens with aroma of tea rose, citrus broom that pulls you before uncoiling into the flavors of licorice spice, roasted pecans on the finish. Naivo guys, I'm going to really open up this cup profile when we taste coffee, and if this is accurate, you have got a serious regular customer for this coffee because this is exactly what I want at the start of my day. We have tea rose and citrus bloom that opens it. It's the first thing that you get, and uncoiling into the flavors of licorice spice. So those who know licorice, it's a bit sweeter sort of spice, not very pungent, but it has a very nice finish that you enjoy. Roasted pecans on the finish. The acidity is balanced yet juicy. I'm very happy because Ratnagiri state sometimes put me off with acidity, but they say it's balanced yet juicy, alive, and driving. A rich, weighty mouthfeel carries the structure, while a mild bitterness threads in for the complexity. Now this has started to excite me a lot, and you can see the way I am talking. This thing has already got me in because they say it's an acidic coffee ending with bitterness. Whenever you talk about coffee, we always say that the cup has to be balanced. The cup should achieve a start of acidity and end of bitterness so that I get a complete spectrum of a flavor wheel. And this is what they are promising. Roasted medium, it holds its ground as a punchy espresso, shines in a delicious pour over, and it's a great coffee for everyday French press brewers. So they are covering 3 types of coffee drinkers, where you have your espresso drinkers in the morning, your pour over drinkers, and your French press. Now we are going to conduct a manual brewing lecture. So the French press and the pour over thing has got me already, where they are saying that this is a very good coffee for a shiny, delicious espresso. I am definitely buying this coffee. Let's read about the post-harvest processing. Ripe cherries were pulped to remove the skin and the pulp, leaving beans with mucilage intact. Okay, so first of all, they are clearly indicating that this has been selectively picked coffee cherries. That means the estate has taken special efforts to go and pick only the ripest, the richest, the red coffee cherries. They were pulped to remove the skin and the pulp, leaving beans with mucilage intact. Mucilage is that sticky layer that is on the coffee seed, but that's for later on. The first fermentation began breaking down mucilage before the beans were thoroughly washed. So there was a pre-washed fermentation that happened where the mucilage was broken down using fermentation method. And there was a second controlled fermentation to ensure every remaining layer was dissolved. So this seems like a sequential fermented washed coffee where you have multiple sequential fermentations that are happening in order to break down the mucilage and impart very, very nice flavors to the coffee. Finally, the produce was dried slowly on raised beds under the mountain sun until the moisture stabilized. The double washed method delivers a cup that is bold, clean and juicy. Everything that a daily coffee drinker would want is a bold, juicy and clean cup of coffee. It says the producer is Mr. Ashok Patre. The region is Chikmagaluru, that is in Karnataka, India. Altitude is 1310 meter mean average from sea level. Type is 100% Arabica. We want 100% Arabica. The process is double washed and the varietal is selection 9. Selection 9 is one of those very nice tasting Arabicas coming from India, where the selection 9 ensures you have those citrusy, fruity flavors to your cup. So this is definitely what I am buying and it goes to my cart. If this is the way Naivo is going to position its selection, I would be ending up buying the entire lot, but which I don't want to do yet. So we have got one coffee that is on the darker spectrum of coffee. So you have these flavors of citrus bloom, licorice, roasted pecan and tea rose. तो मुझे एक ऐसा कॉफी मिल चुका है जहां पे आई एम गेटिंग अ बिट ऑफ डार्कर बोल्डर फ्लेवर्स विद अ हिंट ऑफ florals, with the hint of citrus. So I am done with the basic coffee. Now I want something exactly opposite to this. I want something that is super bright, super fruity, super speaking up in this way that I am a very overly processed, delicate, floral, fruity coffee. So now let's start the hunt for that specific coffee. Okay, so Ratnagiri doesn't have anything more, I guess. We have another Ratnagiri lab process naturals. When I read the word lab, I think this is the lactic acid bacteria. I hope so, that is the lactic acid bacteria. It has the flavors of figs, pineapple jam, prunes and star fruits. Again, it has a pretty similar overlapping with the previous one, so I won't go for that. Plus it's espresso roast, so I don't need one. Now I'm really considering buying one of these, which is culture natural jasmine and culture natural rose. But the sad part was that it was too overpowering with the florals that I couldn't really enjoy it last time. So maybe if we find nothing, we would go for one of these, but I would want to explore some other estates as well. So let's move out from the Ratnagiri vault selection and let's move into something called as a showcase. I guess the showcase simply means that Naivo wants to show you these specific coffees. They are proud about it, and I think that is the right time we should also check them out. Yes, Naivo showcase, the first three are Omni Roast, so they do work for us. The prices are pretty decent. The most expensive is 725, which is still a good rate for a 250 grams bag. Now, one of these is rich and strong. The Ratnagiri washed already was a rich and strong coffee, so maybe I'll skip the Kere Haklu for now. But Kere Haklu, it's a wine Robusta. So any which ways, even if I like this coffee, I can't buy it because it's a Canephora. It's a Robusta. Now we have two options. In the first lot, we have the Berry Dawn Barbara Dual Phase Naturals and the Current Affairs by Karadikan Estate Naturals. Both of these coffees are natural process coffees. The previous one was a washed process coffee. Now this is a natural where an entire fruit has been dried under the sun. Barbara Estate is something I have been drinking for quite some years now, but when you talk about Barbara Estate, the first thing that comes to my mind is that it's a very high elevation estate, but they have a plant variety called as Selection 795. And if it is a Selection 795, according to my experience, what I have found is that the coffee, you may process it in any which ways you want, would yield you a very spicy, darker coffee. So let's see if this is not a Selection 795. I might consider buying this. So we are checking out the Berry Dawn Barbara Dual Phase Naturals. Naturals would give me a lot of aromatic coffee. They promise cloves, mulberries, red grapes and strawberries. I'm getting a very fruity spectrum here, which is a good thing because our previous coffee was in a darker spectrum with the citrus, bloom and licorice. Here I wanted something funky, but just one catch. If this is a Selection 795, I'm not buying it. The weight is 250 grams. It's whole beans. We are done. So let's know about what Berry Dawn is. Berry Dawn from Barbara Estate is a dual fermented naturals, sun-dried lot, showcasing a spectrum of grapes and berry notes shaped through the meticulous two-stage fermentation. This tells me that coffee cherries have went through two different fermentation stages. This process enhances mouthfeel while preserving clarity and complexity, reflecting Sri Raksha's innovative approach to processing. Sri Raksha is the owner of Barbara Estate. Very, very sweet guy. I have many nice memories and interactions with him, and we still till date share a very nice understanding about coffee and how the coffee industry should be shaping itself. The only thing I was worried about, this is Selection 795, and I am going to refrain from buying Selection 795 for one simple thing. I always feel Selection 795, what come or however you process it, it's going to yield a very specific spicy notes, darker notes, which I really don't want to buy right now because I already have a coffee that giving me that specific flavor contributions. So just because of the varietal, I'll skip this coffee and move to Karadikan Estate because now that's the next thing you can get. Current Affairs is a omni roast again, so you can use it either for espresso as well as your pour overs. Apricot, blackcurrant, blackberries and hazelnut. So the coffee profile is telling me, or the flavor indicators are telling me, the coffee is a bit of nutty and a bit of red or black fruits. Again, it's a darker profile, so I might not go for this. Let's see what other options do we have. Now we have another two set of omni roast and one espresso. We have the Dragon Jam from Coliberi Anaerobic Naturals. We have Barbados cherries, dragon fruits, jamun, mixed fruit jam. Okay, interesting. This is something that is expressing something that I really want. Then you have Kraken Jam where you have blueberry jam, dried figs, papaya and wild honey. Another natural process coffee, but the sad part is it's espresso roast. I can't use it. And the next one is bold and balanced. Again, you have butter cookies, cashews, malt and pastry. Not really looking for a savory right now because we already have our, remember, the Ratnagiri washed. Skipping to what next? We have two espresso, one omni. But all of these two happen to be Robustas. And one of them is Pichia Naturals, but it's an espresso roast. And looks like I have run out of options when it comes to funkier coffees. So what should we do? Should we go for the Karadikan Naturals or should we go for some other selection? Let's check something else out. Let's go for filter. Let's say what do they give here. because the showcase didn't work for me. I didn't yet get the type of coffee I need. So let's see what the filter coffee or the filter section has to offer. Okay, so we have Balanur Chandragiri washed and Balanur one card. Two of the coffees. Balanur Chandragiri is almond, floral, and gooseberries. Not something I'm looking for. Balanur Vonte card seems like honeydew, golden raisin, citrus bloom. Again, we get to see the citrus bloom and raisins, darker flavors, citrus flavors, and honeydew. Again, let's see what other options can we get from this brand. We again got Ratnagiri coming into the picture here as well. So one thing that I found funny is they have a Ratnagiri selection as a different section called as Ratnagiri Vault, and they have again added the same thing into the filter profiles because that thing is suitable for filter roast as well, which is a good thing. Okay, before I move to anything else, I just spotted my favorite coffee. So let's quickly go through this. We have a Mondul Estate AA washed wood apple black tea tamarind coming from Tanzania. Not really looking for wood apple black tea because we remember have a washed coffee from Ratnagiri which is pretty similar. But this is the coffee that I have been obsessing over when I bought coffee from Blue Tokai. This is a Sithera Gundu Estate and it is the best washed coffee you can get in the market, period, because that is the best washed coffee I tasted in the entire 2025 and Blue Tokai nailed the roast. I still have one of the packet left with me. Sithera Gundu Estate, we are going for this, no second thoughts because I love this coffee and if you don't love your coffees, you don't make good coffees. Sithera Gundu washed. So the previous coffee comes from Ratnagiri State, Karnataka, Chikmagaluru. This coffee comes from a different region, giving me more broader spectrum onto Indian coffees. So the flavor indicators are saying orange zest, simple syrup, walnut, brilliant. Orange zest would be very tangy, very nice. We are talking about citric acid. Simple syrup is talking about the viscosity of the coffee and the walnut is telling about the nature, the nutty nature of the coffee. 250 grams bag, whole beans, we are set. Let's read about this beautiful coffee coming from Kerala. Our first lot from Kerala is a washed Arabica from Sithera Gundu Estate that belongs to the POABS. I don't know if it's a short, how do you spell it? How do you pronounce it? But it's an organic estate group nestled in the cool, picturesque hills of Nilayampati. This estate is located within the majestic Sahyadri mountain ranges. Again, a very dear thing for a Maharashtrian because we are into the Sahyadri mountain ranges, renowned for its rich biodiversity and recognized as one of the world's biodiverse hotspot for IUCN. I have no idea what IUCN is, pretty bad with these terms. But one thing I am very sure that this coffee does give you a lot of extrinsic attributes and information, making it very intriguing that I really want to try this coffee. The Nilampati region is just 65 from Palakkad, boasts fertile valley lined with tea, coffee, cardamom and other plantations that thrive in its ideal climate characterized by annual rainfall around 4000 mm and temperature ranges from 14 degrees to 30 degrees. That's a lot of temperature variance. So 15 to 28 degrees is the ideal range for growth of coffee plant and this is just shy of 15, it's 14 degrees and just a bit more than 28. So it's an ideal region for the growth of coffee. Sithera Gundu Estate stands out not only for its high quality coffee but also for its breathtaking view of the valley, offering visitors an unforgettable panorama. Beautiful explanation. I am really happy about it. Let's check the cup profile. The cup displays a bouquet of citrus aromas. We needed a bright coffee. including citrus bloom and orange zest. One thing I am able to grasp from this is that the person tasting the coffee at Naivo has a love for citrus bloom, because at least 3 to 4 of his coffees I saw there was a mention of citrus bloom. It is a full bodied and characterized by bright and juicy citric acid with notes of simple syrup. I have no idea what notes of simple syrup are, because simple syrup is nothing but 1:1 of sugars and water. I don't know how you can describe a syrup into a coffee, but I guess, putting a wild guess behind it, is that this coffee has the body, the mouth feel of that of a simple syrup, and hint of mild walnut in the finish. I'm glad that it's mild walnut, because I don't want a very nutty coffee. The perfect combination of citrus expression, medium sweetness, and a nutty undertone is a delight for enthusiasts of clean and uniform washed coffees. He's talking about me. Let's read about the PHP. My God, they have a lot to say. At Sitaragundu Estate, coffee processing reflects a strong commitment to organic and biodynamic cultivation practices. The estate produced washed coffee using a careful, environment-friendly method that enhances the unique attributes of each bean. Ripe coffee cherries are meticulously handpicked, again indicating selection picking, ensuring only the best quality fruits are selected. I can back this, because Blue Tokai Sitaragundu Estate did reflect a very good quality. Following the harvesting, the cherries are depulped, removing the outer skin and pulp, which is essential for wash processing technique, definitely. The cherries are then placed in water tanks for fermentation. This is interesting, because I guess the previous Ratnagiri estate was a dry fermentation. This is a wet fermentation. Wet fermentation, according to my knowledge, is a better way of fermenting, because water provides the wild yeast to move around, making sure even overall fermentation happening in the fermentation tank. A crucial step that allows flavor to be developed while naturally eliminating mucilage without the use of chemicals. Yes, because mucilage breaks down during fermentation. After fermentation, the beans are thoroughly washed to remove any remaining impurities, contributing to the clean taste. Definitely the coffee was clean tasting. To preserve the organic integrity, the beans are sun-dried on elevated patios, allowing the natural sweetness to shine. Sitaragundu Estate stands out as one of the 2 Demeter certified biodynamic estate globally. That's a good certificate to have, underscoring its dedication to producing high quality, organically grown coffee that respects both the environments and the rich biodiversity of the Nilayam Hill region. Let's go. We have the producers is organic estate collection. Nilayampati, Kerala is the region. Altitude is little lower than our Ratnagiri state. So this is a little lower elevation Arabica. It's 100% Arabica. Process is wash, selection 9. So we have ended up buying 2 coffees with selection 9 varietals. That definitely tells me something, that I am a sucker for a washed coffee. That's a selection 9. So this coffee enters my cart. We have got a bit of a darker coffee with washed process. We have got an espresso coffee with a washed process. Now I need to buy one more packet, and the choice is going to be between 2 coffees. Those funky Ratnagiri State coffees is what I'll have to choose between, because I have no other option than to buy a very expressive co-ferment and showcase how much of aromatic can a coffee have. Those of you who are watching the live right now, help me. Should I go for a culture natural jasmine or a culture natural rose? First 2 to 3 comments, whichever I get, we are shortlisting that specific coffee. So go on, tell me, do you want to go for a jasmine or a rose? Rose is something I feel would be pretty much overpowering. So here we go. The final coffee that we are going to choose today is Ratnagiri Estate Culture Natural Jasmine with bubblegum, jasmine, magnolia, and tuberose. Out of stock. This is the sad part where the website should have mentioned that we are out of stock for these coffees, or at least I missed it out. So we have no other option. They say go for rose. And yes, this thing is in stock. I hate rose. I hate coffees that smell like rose because they remind me of a wine called as Moscato with a very peculiar rose lychee flavor. And इसमें भी same चीज़ है तो a bit of scared, but let's go. Let's understand what does Ratnagiri Estate Culture Natural Rose has to offer, or let's see what and how the processing was done. It's a delicate and floral coffee, definitely, because the flavor indicators are that of lychee, rose water, squash melons, and watermelons. Okay, if I have to tell you, I am going to rate this coffee 50-50 on the flavor notes because I love watermelon and I love squash melon. I do like lychee to some extent, but it's too sweet for me, so it goes for rose water. So on the flavor note, liking 50-50. 845 rupees, not a bad price for such a coffee, because trust me, in India people would crave this coffee. And this is also out of stock. Naivo guys should start writing these things down. Whiskey barrel, whiskey barrel, whiskey barrel. Do we want a barrel aged coffee? Not really. Okay. So now we are left with no other option but to just let's see what other Ratnagiri can I buy. See guys, this is pretty disappointing. If you guys have run out of stock, please do mention that, because an excited guy like me, after listening or seeing that the thing is out of stock, feels very bad. See, it still nowhere says that these coffees are out of stock. Naivo guys, you really need to start writing these things. I don't find anything more interesting. So that's it. Naivo just lost one bag of coffee order because of not writing things on their website. Sad. Just one run through if I can see if I can get something. See, here it's saying that it's not showing it's out of stock. I don't know what's wrong. Come on, if I'm lucky, I get it. Oh, it's out of stock. But I'm very curious about the post-harvest processing. It's a co-ferment. Okay, so it's a lab cultured microbe that was used. I was expecting this to be a co-ferment, but it's not. That's a very good thing. Damn, I wish I could buy this coffee. Okay, let's go. Let's check something else. I need another coffee. Oh, forget it. I'll just go to some other roaster and get another coffee. But yes, so what we have shortlisted today is, see, now this thing got me. Dragon Jam. I want to know about Dragon Jam. It's Omni Roast, Barbados Cherry, Dragon Fruit, Jamun, Mixed Fruit Jam. We got it. We got our third bag. I don't know, this is some impulsive buy that I'm doing, but I want a Dragon Jam now. I don't know why, but I felt like I needed 3 bags and I was getting only 2. So that was a pretty disheartening thing. Yes, so now our flavor profile or the spectrum that we have covered for our masterclass goes as Ratnagiri Double Wash Classic, Sitaragondu Estate Washed, and 1 Koliberi Anaerobic Naturals. Do you want to know about Koliberi? Let's go. Dragon Jam from Koliberi Estate is first showcase of the coffee of 2025 harvest. Explosion of funk and fruit. ठीक है, यही तो चाहिए था. Run by Pranathi Shetty. Koliberi is a woman-led enterprise in Mudigere, 30 kilometers from Chikmagaluru. Mudigere is slightly lower elevation than the Ratnagiri estate and the other things that we bought. This lot brims with sweetness layered with fruit depth and creamy mouthfeel. Roasted to a medium profile, it thrives across espresso pour-overs and cold brews. Interesting. Cup profile. The cherries were selectively. Why is this here? Why is post-harvest processing in the cup section? And why is it cup profile in the post-harvest section? Koi baat nahi, shit happens. Dragon Jam storms the sense with fruit jam aromatics that spills into the rush of dragon fruit, Barbados cherries, anchored by a tangy jamun finish. Tannins is what I'm listening to. The curb surges with juicy acidity, syrupy sweetness, and a rich, full body that commands attention. Beautiful. The showcase is crafted for palates chasing the thrill of sweet funk complexity. A bold, unforgettable expression by Koliberi Estate. This is exactly what we were hunting for and we pretty much got it. A bit of concerning thing is that it's a mix of multiple varietals, but 2 of these varietals are floral and fruity contributing varietals, other 2 are just spicy. We have Selection 795, one of the varietals for which I rejected the Barbara for this specific purchase. Another decent elevation, Mudigere, 100% Arabica, Selection 795, so a bit of spice. Selection 9, Selection 6 is the fruit contributor, and the Chandragiri, that is the Indian varietal. Perfect, sounds good. We have made our decision. We have our 3 bags going to a whooping 1925 as the cart amount. No complaints because good coffees are expensive. And trust me, Naivo is not as expensive as I think. It has been decent, not heavy on my pocket. 3 bags in under 2K is a good deal. So hope you enjoyed this live. If you like such live sessions, I would be doing a lot of coffee purchases and I would be happy to share them with you all in this similar format. If you need any improvement, if you want to know about many more topics, don't forget to reach us out on Instagram by the name Anaboliccoffee. I would be happy to help you out with anything you need or any sort of content you want me to create. And hopefully you liked it. If you liked it, don't forget to like, drop us a comment, subscribe to this channel because that helps us keep going. The number that increases shows us that Indians are there to support the Indian coffee drinking community. And until next time, cheers, keep drinking coffee in this crazy heat, stay hydrated, and I'll see you in the next one.